All right, good evening, everybody. Commissioner Ace Coach 704 with the PEL Primetime Elite League. We have not been live for a long time, so I'm going to make sure that we're working before we start jumping into all this lovely stuff that we love to talk about. And we are live. All right, well, I'll share this because we're in a new communication thing with Discord, so we'll get that out there, and we'll be good to go here in just a second. And we have got it up. Alright, so I'll go ahead and get started. So this year, of course, Madden 20, as you can see, of course, a lot of things haven't changed with franchise, and unfortunately, it's pretty much the same experience that we've had in the past. What I'm going to start out with is I'm going to go through the rules. I haven't done a detailed rules video, but the Madden 19 videos Lee posted in the rules chat are still pretty much the same. Only a couple small differences, which I'll go through tonight. But starting off with settings, we'll start with league settings here. We are going to be on All Pro for year one. We'll see how it goes. I know some of the stuff that went out about the sliders and everything being tuned more to All Madden, so we'll see how All Pro does this year, and then we'll make a decision after that. Of course, we play on simulation always. League type coaches and owners, it doesn't matter to me either way. Instant starter, not a big deal here. Trade deadline will be on, but in year one, there will be no trades. Big reason for that, man, I'm thinking back to last year and in previous years. We have people that come in, some people that are new to what the PEL is, and they like to trade away all these good players and get draft picks thinking they're going to rebuild their teams through the draft, and then their ass doesn't stay around and the team is ruined already in year one. So we're not going to do any trades in year one. Once we get to the off season of this first season, trades will be turned on, so it'll be normal. So in the off season, you'll be able to make your moves as needed. Thank you, Nightwolf Films, for watching for whatever reason. I don't know why you would be here, but thanks. But anyway, so trades will be disabled for year one, and then going forward in the off season of year one, there'll be normal trades. For that reason, I'm not going to use the PEL franchise player rule that we put in place last year. I will let you have free trade, but there will still be the limit on draft picks. No more than 2 first-round draft picks for anyone that will still be in play. So keep that in mind once we get to the off season of year one. Coach firing will be off. Of course, we have salary cap. We will start year one with superstar abilities. I know there was a little talk about them being overpowered, but one thing I've always liked or didn't like about Madden was superstars never felt like superstars. In this Madden, if you got a star player, it feels like a star player. Because I tell you, I got Luke Kuechly, and he just kills anything over the middle. He came, I play, so that's what he does in real life. So I like that. So we'll have these on. No relocation. We had it on last year. I was the only person or someone. I don't think we had any relocation last year. 2 years ago, I was the only person that relocated, so won't have that on. Injuries are off for preseason. Of course, when week one comes, injuries will be on. Pre-existing injury will always be off. Practice squad stealing always turns on in week 2 of the regular season. It is off until that point. Reason why it's week 2, because sometimes in the week 4 of the preseason, there'll be cuts made that people didn't make, and it's not fair for them to lose guys that they didn't cut, because we'll advance and CP will cut people, and we just try to avoid that. So we do it in week 2 of the regular season. Make sure your player progression frequency is on end of the season, because if it's on anything else, the CPU will, upgrade your players and you don't even know about it. So make sure that's on end of the season. We'll have career clock on for the new scenarios they added to Madden. Just another little thing in franchise, I think, kind of adds to the experience, so that's cool. Quarter length will be on 7 minutes. That's something that we've all pretty much settled on in past votes and everything. Of course, accelerated clock will be on, and then play clock time at 20. And all this stuff is on manual, or it should be. If it's not in your settings, make sure all that's on manual so the CPU doesn't do anything that you don't want it to do. And then tutorial pop-ups, most of us have played Madden, you don't need that. Auto progress, make sure that's off, and field velocity, make sure that's off, unless you want the CPU to make moves on your behalf. And of course, private, 32 users, and that's our name and password. I change the password periodically, just in case we have people leave and then want to come back and try to do something crazy. So that probably won't be the same after this. All right. Okay, let's look at sliders. Start with XP sliders. This won't take long because we'll all be on 150 starting out. If you guys that have been with me for a while, you remember that I used to have this on 300 because I used to love progression, and everyone should be, progressing at the highest rate possible. And that's when we were trying to make superstar players, because Madden didn't have them. Everyone was the same, but things have gotten better with the game, so we're at 150. I feel like we're going to stay here pretty much the whole Madden, unless we get something crazy that happens with the game or whatever. But I think it's a good balance right there at 150. And then our gameplay sliders, not many modifications right now because everything's been pretty much good to go with stuff. One thing that you will need to note is down here. Injuries, I did lower to 30 to try to prevent, your star players getting hurt. But fatigue's at 65. And that's something that we've always believed in here. You want to make sure you develop your depth. You can't just run a star player over and over and over again 10 times in a row and not expect them to get tired. So this is more of the simulation of the PEL, where we try to simulate real life football. So you give a guy the ball 3 or 4 times, yeah, he's going to be tired, and you need to give him a break. So that's why our fatigue's at 65. Of course, the minimum player speed threshold, we keep it low. In the past, it's been at 8. I went with 10 right now to see how it'll go. But we believe in, players with speed should have speed. So that's why it's at 10. I see Heavy's on. Thank you for watching, man. Penalties, the only adjustment we made was face mask. On a lot of CPU games, I've seen a lot of face masks, and they've been really excessive, so lowered that to 40. Hopefully we still get a couple when they're warranted, but it doesn't, reach that excessive threshold with penalties. And everything else is normal. Everything's on, and everything else is at 50, so no changes with that stuff yet. We'll see how it goes when we get through the league. I will make adjustments from time to time. Oh, Lee's Night Wolf Films. Why the hell you call Night Wolf Films? Okay, now it makes sense. Alright. Well, that's it for sliders, so pretty straightforward there. But we will make changes if something gets to be, a little out of whack. Thanks for watching the Gate. Appreciate it, man. Alright, let's jump to who's here. So we'll use the preseason schedule. That's kind of a basis for this. Alright, so Broncos is new, welcome. And then Rams has played here before, is what I've been told. My memory's going, but welcome back. I trust that you have played here. That's what I was told. We do have a Giants guy. He just hasn't accepted his invite yet. He had an unfortunate injury he's dealing with, but he should accept it within the next couple days or two. And then the Bengals, fearsome is Tristan. Of course, he's a very good player. We had a great Super Bowl last year. He won in overtime by 3, I believe. So he'll be a force to reckon with in that division. Ravens, Slim Cracker, one of our co-commissioners, Cody, he's the reason why this is happening right now. I was done. I was burnt out. I was starting my own football website covering high school football, and I had just gotten so busy that I didn't feel like we'd be able to do this. But then he started a group with all the former PEL people, and I just logged in the group me after it had been going for like 2 weeks. And I said, well, damn, if all these guys are in here and still, want to stay together, then, I need to find a way to get it done. So that's why we're here today. Thank you, Cody. Eagles, he played with us last year. I believe his name is Matthew. Good guy. The Eagles are his team, so we're glad to have him back once again in the fold. All right, then yours truly. Just a little background. We've been running the PEL for about, 4 years now, 4 or 5 years. I think it might be year 4. And it started out it was called League of Legends. And I thought it was a dumb name. I didn't come up with it. I had 2 former co-commissioners that thought that was a good name. I don't know why, but I just went with it. We've been through some crazy times, of course, like any other Madden league. But I'm proud. We were a Daddy League's league of the, what do they call it? Elite League the last 2 years. And hopefully this year we'll be making it year 3. We didn't go as long last year because the game just was terrible and everybody was burnt out because of the BS. But hopefully we'll be once again another Daddy League's Elite League in year 3. Some good guys in here that have been with us for a while, and proud to be doing this once again. And then we have a Patriots guy, but I don't know where he is, so we may have an opening if he doesn't join by Tuesday. Ragjoe's been a long time member, good player. I don't think he's ever won a Super Bowl though, but very good player, good sim guy for the most part. And overall he's a good guy. I believe he's a coach, some type of coach, and I may be getting that wrong, but I think he is. He does a good job with that also. Then the Falcons with Jeff. Jeff is the longest running member of the league, I believe. He came in when it was League of Legends from the start, and he's been a co-commish before. I'm a long time dedicated guy to sim football, and I'm glad he's back here once again with us. Aaron, the Jaguars, another long time member. Loves his post routes. I'm kidding. He's done a lot better with that. But no, he's a very dedicated guy to Madden. West Coast guy. So you can play him. Just keep that in mind. You'd better hope he's off. Well, I hope you're a West Coast too. Because it can be some late nights sometimes. But, most of us are able to work it out. And, he's a good member, good player. He makes the playoffs a lot. Hadn't broke through yet in the playoffs. I mean, kind of snake bitten, but a good guy to have in the league. And then Gabe is back with us. Once again, he's another long time member. We go all the way back to what was that league called? It's on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, we go back a long time. And Top Notch, that's it. Top Notch League, yeah. And my God, there was some crazy times back then. But he's another good player, believes in, sim football like, anyone here should. And he'll get you in some trades sometimes, but he's a stone cold negotiator. But overall good dude to have. I'm glad he's able to get back in here. Browns, he works with the I don't know if I can put this out there, but I will. He works with he used to work with the University of Georgia football team as I think either a coach or something with them. And I think that's very cool. You get into these Madden leagues and you never really know who's who, so that's a cool deal. And he's pretty much a laid back guy. Good player, very good player. Makes the playoffs a good bit, and has got a good team with the Browns there. And then we got the Bucks with Heavy, who's also a co-commish with us. He took a year off or 2 years or one of those. I can't remember how many years it's been. But you know, he's another very sim player. Probably the most sim player that I've played in here. I swear, some of the games that we have, I felt like I was coaching high school football again. And that's good. That's a good thing, because that's what we want it to be in here. We want it to be a game about making the right calls and being successful, not a game where you get by on glitches and do a bunch of cheesy stuff. That'll never fly in here. We never been about that. Never will be. But glad to have him back once again. Kendall, the Bills. Kendall's a good kid, man. And I say that, he's not really a kid. He's a college football player up at Central Connecticut State. I covered him actually playing football here in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is where I live and where he's from. But he's a real good guy. Good player too. Develops his guys really well. He'll be probably the favorite in that division, to be honest with you, starting out. Then the Lions are an opening that we do have. If you know someone that wants to get into a good league with good guys, play some football, please let us know. So we have the Lions, and we may have the Patriots, and I think that might be it. I think that's all we have right now. The Cardinals, that's Mater Saban. I talked to him today. He's trying to get internet. He just moved. So hopefully we'll get him in the fold. But, you know, you talk about another guy developing his players. He took that Bengals team last year and developed them from nothing and into a very, very good team. And just had some tough luck in a very strong AFC, or otherwise he would have been in the playoffs just about every year. And then with the Vikings is a friend of Ramon, who is the Packers this year. So I don't know much about him, but I'm trusting that, you know, if he's a friend of Ramon, he's going to be a good player and a good part of the league. So we're glad to have him as well. Don't let the Jets hear that. We'll get to him in a second. He's another good guy. Speaking of good guys, the Bears, crazy one, has been with us for the past few years. Another good guy. I think he runs his own league as well. Does a good job. He's dedicated to those Bears, and he's a very, very sim player. He's very tough to play. He doesn't win much, but he's one of those guys that, you know, it's going to be a hard game just because he's a very good defensive player, and it makes you earn everything you get trying to drive down the field. It's a tough game when you play the Bears, and they're going to be better this year in this Madden game, so, you know, he may be a bigger threat. And then the Colts, we're joking with the Colts yesterday. He's a new guy to the league. Seems like a good guy. Just started. It's funny. We started the morning of when Andrew Luck retired. So if we would have started tomorrow, we may not have had Andrew Luck in here. But of course, we'll let him keep him. You know, because that team without Andrew Luck is going to be it's going to be horrible. But overall, we're glad to have you. And that Colts team might be pretty good. Otherwise. All right, the Saints is another long-time member. I think he's one of the few that might have been here with League of Legends, too. Another West Coast guy, but good dude. Good dude. Played him for years, of course, being the Panthers, and he's the Saints. We both know each other inside and out. Well, was it going to be a good sim game? He's a good member of the league. Glad to have him back. And then Jets, I don't know how I say that. Ariane Kerr, I guess. I guess that's right. He's been around a couple years too. Just got him back in here today from the old PEL on GroupMe. And we lost some guys when we transitioned to Discord. And, you know, that's cool because it gives us an opportunity to bring in, you know, new guys that, you know, want to join and be a part of a good league. But he was able to come over and pick up the Jets. And that's going to be a good battle in that division over there with Kendall and Agape if he doesn't switch teams. Of course, 49ers, Eric. Eric's one of our more older members, but a great, great guy. Very dedicated to the league. There's not a one bad word I can say about Eric. I know a couple years ago he made the playoffs. One year when he had the Cowboys, I was so happy for him because he just battles and plays his games and tries to build his team the way he wants to. And, he'll sneak up on you and give you a tough ass game if you just, not on your game one day. So, glad to have him back. And then Kyle, the Chiefs, another good guy. If you guys remember last year, I think it was last year, went down to Atlanta and met Kyle, the Chiefs, Cody, the Ravens, of course Jeff, the Falcons, and Blake, who is not a part of the league this year, at least not right now. But good guys, man, good guys. And Kyle's one of those good guys. And he was a guy that started out just terrible. He practiced and got better, and now he's a very good player. So if you struggle sometimes, man, just stick with it and practice and watch what other people do, and you'll get better and become a threat in this league. Lee, the Texans. Another reason why we're here, because Lee pretty much took the ball and got it rolling when we switched over to Discord. He set up all the channels that we have, and I was still trying to figure out what the hell we were doing. And I thank him so much for doing all that and bringing some of these new guys into the league that he went out and leak and recruit for us on different social media platforms. He brings a lot, and of course he's been a member for a while. He'll give you a tough game too, if you're not on your A game. And he's got a good team this year down in Houston. And then Will the Beast, Cowboys, another good guy. I know I keep saying that, but I'm serious. We have a lot of good dudes in here. We don't have a lot of crazy, talk and kids doing crazy stuff, man. We try to have good, mature guys in here that just want to have a good sim league and play football. And Will's one of those guys. He's a good player. He's a player that got better last year. He started making the playoffs with those Buccaneers last year. And I think he beat me one time. I never heard the end of it. But man, he's a good dude. And he can, once he gets his team the way he wants it, he can be a tough player, man. Seahawks, he is a friend of, who is he a friend of? Somebody. I'm trying to remember who's who here, but I know he came recommended, so I trust that he'll be a good player. Hadn't said much in the chat, but once we get things going, there'll be more to talk about. So hopefully we hear more from him and find out how good of a player he is. And then Deontay with the Chargers, everyone's favorite. I say that jokingly because he's beaten many of us throughout the years, and he's back once again. Really, really good guy. I'm happy he's back. Hey, Seahawks watching. Hey, so your name's Ryan. Okay, nice to meet you, Ryan. I'm glad you're watching. But anyway, yeah, Deontay's a very good player. Frustrate the hell out of you. I've beaten him a couple of times, but it's always been close, and you have to, just kind of get lucky and, look into the right call and shut down that run game, because he will kill you with the run if you're not on point. So, good to have him, and I see Frank is expressing his frustrations with Deontay. Oh, that's funny. All right, Ramon with the Packers. You talk about the thorn in my side. He is my Deontay, Frank, if you want to put it that way. I finally got past him last year in the damn NFC Championship game, and I felt like I won a damn conference championship in high school football. But I had to develop, a damn huge 99 overall tall receiver to take advantage of it. But anyway, he's a very good player. A good sim guy. With Aaron Rodgers, it's going to be a pain in the ass in the NFC. I already see a match up with him in the next few seasons in the playoffs, because that's just how it goes with me. I never can avoid the guys that give me trouble. That's going to be a problem. Raiders, we do have a guy joining as the Raiders. I think his name's Rap God or something. I don't know him, but Lee said he played him in another league and he seemed like he simmed with a gape. So if y'all can give me some further insight, I trust you guys, so I'm sure he'll fit in well here. DJ Red Alert is the Steelers. I've seen he's played the most preseason games I've ever seen, which is 2. But I think he's 2-0 in the preseason, so he might be somebody to look out for. Steelers are a talented team, and got some things that can give you some trouble, so we'll see how he does in that division. And then, of course, Eric with the Titans, back once again, very good sim player. He's always right there on that cusp of the playoffs in the wild card, in a tough division, in a tough conference in the AFC. And good dude. I know last year he started doing some interviews of the game of the week that Daddy Leaks creates. So maybe we'll see that again, or if someone else wants to pick that up. But I'll talk about that in another video. Alright, so I try to keep these at 30 minutes, so we've got 4 minutes left. In these last 4 minutes, I want to go through some signings that people have made of note. So we're going to go through to sign and just kind of scroll through it. I know the CPU has made some of these signings, so don't worry about that. No big signings right there for the Bears. Bengals picking up Jalen Myrick. Of course, he's a fast player. Tristan likes those kind of guys that are athletes, can make plays in the secondary. The Bills, I don't know that guy. I'm assuming he's probably fast. Morris Claiborne for the Broncos. I hear you. Still around. He can still help out a secondary. Browns, no transactions. I'm assuming one of those guys has been released heavy. We talked about that. Make sure, I know sometimes CPU signs people, but make sure you only sign one guy in the preseason. That's the rule, because we don't want a bunch of people hoarding free agents. Once you get to week 1, there'll be no limits, so you can hoard all you want then. Okay. Oh, that's CPU. He hadn't joined yet. Okay, well, I understand that. That's fine. Chargers. Okay, Deontay hadn't signed anyone yet. No Chiefs. Colt Muhammad Wilkerson. He's a big DT. That's a good signing for the Colts right there. That'll help them stopping the run for sure. I don't know that guy for the Cowboys. Alright, I see you, Heavy. That's cool. And McGape said he released the center, so I know he's good there. Theo Riddick, a good running back out the backfield that can make some catches. Those are CPU signings for the Falcons. Nick Perry, good player. Good pickup right there for the 49ers. He'll help on that pass rush if you put him in. And then he can, I think he's got some good hit power too. CPU signings for the Giants. Jags picking up Eric Berry. Still a good player. He can help out a lot down there for Aaron. CPU sign, yeah, those first two are CPU signings for the Jets. Okay. And CPU signings for the Lions. Oh, Kelvin Benjamin. Oh, God. Whoever gets the Lions is going to cut him immediately. Just trust me. He frustrated me so much in Madden's past. Oh, my God. Cameron Meredith, good receiver for the Packers. That's a good depth signing right there. Of course, we signed Clint Bowling. We had a huge gaping hole at left guard. My God. I think the guy I had in there was 62. So he's going to help a lot. That helps solidify our offensive line. CPU signings for the Patriots. CPU signings for the Raiders. Rams, Nkandichi, good player. Good signing. No one for the Ravens. Skins. Saints picking up Cyprian, who provides some depth in the secondary. Parnell, good signing. Helps out that offensive line for the Steelers. Dez Bryant for the Texans. Well, he's going to be getting some jump balls. Look for that in the red zone. Titans. CPU signings. Okay, that's fine. And the Vikes with no more signings yet. All right. These last 15 seconds, please remember, one signing in the preseason. If you know someone interested, please let me know, and we'll bring them into the fold here. We'll advance to week 4 tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you do your practice squads. Put the people you want on practice squads. When you sign someone to the practice squad, it does not count as a free agent signing, so keep that in mind. If you want to go into free agency and put those young guys on practice squads, that's fine, 100%. No problem with that. And then Tuesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern time, we'll start the regular season and we'll get this thing going. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. We'll see you again soon. Thanks.